Ladies and gentlemen, I was really hoping that we would have a greater news about PlayStation. But all I hear is a whole lot of bad news and some delays. Like they fired the Blue Point company. I don't know what else they have. Plus they delayed the PlayStation 6, which that might be a good news for y'all in case you want to get more video games for PlayStation 5. But there are some things about PlayStation 6 that we need to go over. So today, I'm going to be your teacher, and the class is now in session.
Welcome to the JCS Show.
Hey everybody, welcome to the JCS Show. My name is Sean Carr. If you're new here, please feel free to hit the subscribe button. If there's a notification bell, make sure you click off for future episodes, short videos, and live streaming that will be coming up. If you got any questions or comments, please make sure you hit or say something on the comment section, because my comment section is open for you all. And make sure you hit the like button. Also, follow me on Instagram and Threads. The title over there is The JCS Show. So, the question remains, what do we know about the PlayStation 6 that it is coming up? Did we know if it is still going to be $1,000? Is it going to be much more what we going to happen, or is it going to be a disaster? Let's see what we know about PlayStation 6 so far. And they all, some of them might be rumored. Sony hasn't officially announced about PlayStation 6 yet, but haven't, start the rumor mill of turning out the increasingly steady stream of leaks, inside reports, and solid hints from the company itself. With the PlayStation 5 well into the latter half of its life cycle, and the PS5 Pro already on shelves, the attention of hardcore gamers is increasingly turned towards whatever comes next. Now, here's what we know about the PlayStation 6. 1. From release windows and hardware pricing are possibly entering a new PlayStation handheld launching alongside it. Now here's the second one, the release date and the pricing. Sony has maintained remarkably constant consoles release candidate. PS3 launched in 2026, PS4 in 2013, and PS5 in November 2020. Estimating near perfect 7-year gap each time. Applying that the PS5 points to the 2027 release window for the PS6. And that was the most widely target among leakers. However, in January 2026, the Internet MST International Senior Analyst warned that while Sony's existing memory inventory were shielded from short-term impact of rising RAM price, increasingly costs can become a serious issue in the fiasco year ending March 2027, and noted that the PS6 release thereof and likely be delayed longer than many expected. So that is what we're fighting because of this AI BS that people are saying that well, the AI needs the RAMs. We cannot afford it. I'm sorry. Is an AI a person or a thing? Because to me, it's not like a thing that doesn't need nothing, not even a RAM. Because I don't know whose idea what this is. I'm saying this because it is the stupidest thing I ever heard. Let me read the next one. Then in February 2015, 2026, the Bloomberg published an even more alarming report. The source familiar with PlayStation 6 plans. The report that started Sony is now considering pushing back debut of a PlayStation 6 console to 2028 or even 2029, still largely due to ongoing memory shortage. There is no insight. If true, this could mark the longest gap between PlayStation consoles today, while giving Microsoft a chance to capitalize on its next Xbox console, which it's not going to last because Xbox is clearly dead. Now, here's the pricing. The pricing is one of the most certain aspects already in numerous PlayStation 6 picture and RAM storage, governing things on further. The PS5 launched at $499, which is $500 for a standard edition. But the rising production costs, PS6 is highly unlikely to match the pricing point. Let's see. The PS6 is highly unlikely to match the pricing point. More estimates are credible. The pricing for PS6 between $500 and $600. Through the industry asserts that have pushed the estimate as high as excuse me, $700 to $900, depending on the memory situation and model configuration. Now, the PS5 Pro is $700 at launch price in 2024. May be responsible for setting a new psychological ceiling for the PlayStation hardware. Alright. I don't know why, but we need to get this we need to start saving money, getting a jar or something for that, man, because we need to get ready for it when it's released. Alright, next one is the hardware specification. Sony continued to partnership with AMD since the day of PS4, one of the few hardwares confirmed the high confidence. Winter report in the September 2024 that the Intel had lost out of the bid to design the PS6 chipset in 2022, with the AMD winning on the contract. That makes sense from backward capability standpoint, since PS5 and PS5 Pro were both built on custom AMD silicon. Now, rumors from it that the primarily from shared by MLID and Kipper L2 point in this custom APU featuring one of them is manufacturing node TSMC into that delivers subternal eventually gain over PS5 7nm process. The CPU AMD Zen 6. The memory will be for the PS6 will be the GDDR7 RAM, offering approximately 640 gigabytes per second bandwidth, which will be 43% increase over the PS5 488 gig per second. Though the narrow of 160-bit memory bus rather than the PS5 256 56-bit bus with a speed difference comparing to the reductive bus with a total RAM capacity has not yet been barely leaked. Now, the GPU will be the AMD Next Gen RDNA5 GPU architect, which will be used for both PS6 and the next Xbox if it's still live. Though, according to the Compare L2, the new PlayStation consoles won't feature the full NA5 feature set will be cost available for desktop graphics cards. What else there is? The realization performance. Multiple leaks from indicate that roughly 3 times the realization performance on base PS5 with the Teratop rising atop of 10.28 T-flops for PS5 and 18.5 T-flops for the PS5 Pros to 34 to 40 T-flops for PS6. Excuse me. And then there's ray tracing performance. This is supposedly the big focus on PlayStation 6 consoles thanks to advancement plan for RDNA5. Ray tracing performance could increase a massive 6x12 compared to the PlayStation 5. Neural arrays, a new approach of grouping GPU compute units so they can work together with a single AI engine, enabling better upscaling and denoising at the lower cost of a GPU performance. There was the sign of a fundamental improvement in technologies like Sony's PSSR. Now the Radiant cores. This new delicate hardware blocks design for race and path tracing take full control of ray traveling, one of the most compute heavy tasks current handle efficiently across of a shared resource and freely. GPUs shares cores of the primary functions, so that might work. So another one is the Universal Companion, a software layer of the companions data of all types, not just specific file formats, but as the current solutions as it flows through the graphic pipeline, efficiently boosting available memory bandwidth. AMD's Jack 100 and SVP and GM of Computing and Graphic Group, describing the memory bandwidth eliminations as the key barriers to the next gen rendering techniques, and Universal Companions is intending to address without requiring expensive hardware memory update. So this is a real update that I never see this coming. We're gonna take a little break, and when we come back, we're going to finish up more about this this update. So we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. The PlayStation 6 handheld project called Canes, one of the most unexpected elements of a PlayStation 6 configuration is the strong rumor that PlayStation to launch a dedicated gaming handheld alongside or shortly after the PS6 home console. This will be quite a surprise for PlayStation handheld fans who has given up on the idea of a new handheld consoles after resounding commercial failure of a PS Vita. Boomer first reported in 2024 that Sony's exploring the gaming handheld intentionally dubbed Project Canes. Excuse me. Since then, they have leaked the AMD documentary of Undercover. The MLID has added sentimental hardware details and multiple leaks incorporating a device assistance. Sony has updated the PS5 developer kits to a prior low power mode supportive, with a documentation suggests that developers unsure that the games can run 8 CPU threads. 8? Multiple sources at the intuitive that this as Sony's quite preparing for the software economic system. Alright, so here's the things that what Project Canes special we might have. The chip will have magnetic APU built on TSMC 3nm for approximately 135 millimeters a second. CPU will be 4S Gen 6C core. And it's dedicated for the OS. The GPU they're going to bring the 16 RDNA 5 compute units, clocking around 128 GHz in handheld mode, and 1.65 GHz when it's documented. Now, the memory will be LPDDR5X on a 192-bit controller, which is supposed to be up to 48 gig. No solid figure has been confirmed through the developer's console. Of a matter of suggestion between 24 through 36 gig will be necessary to run the next gen games with featuring such as UE5's Natty. Now, as for the PlayStation 6, we try to know what is coming out. So we know that let's see. You got Intergalactic that's supposed to be coming out. Got like another Assassin's Creed, Chambers, Bioshock 4s, Elder Stroder, another Final Fantasy Remake Part 3, Hogwarts Legacy 2, Metro Exodus sequel, Star Wars Jedi Part 3, Tom Clancy Splinter Cell remake. I mean, they got some of the remakes and some new ones that's coming out. And other than that, that is it. But there are some questions that needs to be answered. Like one, what did they going to put in for cooling down the PlayStation? It's what the thing to cool down on PlayStation 6. Now I hope they're not bringing back these liquid metal cooling. That's why I cannot buy the PS5, because of that. That's why. And my second question is, are we going to have the ultimate backward capability of playing PS1 through PS5? And if so, can we play them through the physical disc that we've been collecting for years? And if this happens and we can save it, oh, trust me, they would make the most powerful and the most ultimate gaming console of all times if that happens. But It might not happen. Might not. But we're gonna see what happens. Now I'm keep an eye out for the more of info about the PlayStation 6. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that's all the time I have. Thank you for watching the JCS Show. My name is John Carr, and I hope I see you again. Until then, please, please, be safe out there. Be safe, and may God be with you. Peace.